Joining us right now is Aaron Zellin. He is a research fellow at the Washington Institute and founder of the jihadology.net website. Aaron, great to see you. So, why are we seeing this kind of outbreak of violence right now?
We've been seeing that there's been a greater push by former regime elements to try and start an insurgency because they want to overthrow the new authorities so that they can get back in charge again. And this is being sponsored by Iran and Hezbollah as well. But that still also doesn't excuse the massacre that happened against random Alawite civilians either.
Syria's interim leader, who is a former jihadist himself, is imploring these different groups to unify. Can he do it?
He's been attempting to do this slowly over the last 3 months or so, but it's easier said than done since the country has 50 plus years of totalitarianism and there's a ton of trauma on all sides. And that's why it's more important than ever that transitional justice process is started and truth and reconciliation committees are created, which the new government has yet to do.
You're an expert on ISIS and jihadism. Do they still have pockets of strength in and around Syria?
We see that the Islamic State has a low boil insurgency still going on in eastern parts of the country. In terms of sort of the capital area, they aren't very active. However, there have been a number of cells that have attempted terrorist attacks since the fall of the regime 3 months ago. But the new authorities have stopped it. And some of the intelligence related to it actually has come from the U.S.
The Trump administration has been adamant that it won't be drawn into any conflict involving Syria. But does the danger remain that the U.S. could ultimately end up in some sort of related conflict?
It's not so much that the U.S. would be involved in conflict per se. It's more of a question of whether the U.S. is willing to engage diplomatically with what's going on in Syria and trying to make sure that the sort of way that this transition goes is in a positive manner and creates safety and stability instead of one where there's currently a vacuum now and then outside actors like Iran as well as others might try and upset the apple cart.
What are your biggest concerns moving forward?
I think that the biggest concerns are that there's these outside spoilers as well as remnants of the regime that are trying to destabilize things and making it more difficult, whether it's the Turks also backing a group of people fighting the Syrian Democratic Forces that are trying to fight against ISIS, or Israel's continued bombing of different places and taking over some of the territory. Everybody needs to let the Syrians deal with their own problems themselves in many respects.
All right, Aaron Zellin, thank you so much.